welcome to another installment of Plaid Stallion's Toy Ventures. This may not come as a big surprise to those who tune into this, but I'm going to talk about knockoffs again, in the form of one of the most blatant and hilarious knockoffs of the 1970s, and that is Lincoln International's Mr. Rock. No relation to Leonard Nimoy. A bit of a backstory on Lincoln International. This was a New Zealand-based toy company that had some real hits in the 1960s with TV advertised toys. Their big hitter licenses included Batman and Jerry Anderson programs like Stingray. The catchphrase for the commercials in Australia was, "Boy oh boy, it's a Lincoln toy." During the 1970s, they started to kind of make some lower quality rack toys. We're not sure why this shifted, but there's a bit of a decline in the quality of the goods, and as you'll see here, there seemed to be no interest in purchasing licenses. Lincoln would later become a distributor for Mego, so it's an interesting full circle. During the 1970s, Lincoln started aping what Mego was doing and producing lower quality knockoffs of several of their themes. They had their own Action Jackson in the form of Big Bill. And then later on, they did another version of Action Jackson called Thrill Seekers that also aped Evel Knievel, as you can see here. But their biggest and most popular series would have to be their Monsters series that they produced in the mid-1970s. These characters were absolutely meant to mimic the popularity of the monsters produced by both Mego and Azrak Hamway. There's lots of little similarities in the fact that Frankenstein's box is a copy of the Mego box, and some of the outfits really do look like AHI outfits. In fact, a lot of collectors used to get these two confused quite a bit. So around this time, Lincoln decided to hop on the Star Trek train with what is probably their most blatant piece of work. I mean, Mr. Rock. It's just such a bold ripoff. I mean, there's just no mistaking what exactly they're trying to do here. And I think that's one of the strong appeals of this figure is he's hilarious. And as you keep looking, you just find more and more reasons to kind of chuckle at Mr. Rock. First of all, the head sculpt, it doesn't look like Leonard Nimoy. They've gone out of their way not to mock the hair. So it kind of looks like if Tony Randall was a Vulcan. A lot of people are saying now that it kind of looks like Sheldon as a Vulcan, and I see the similarities. I had that figure, so. But it doesn't exactly end there. Lincoln seemed to recycle a lot of products here. The logo on Mr. Rock's chest is actually from like a knockoff G.I. Joe Air Force set. You can actually find them to this day if you have a Mr. Rock without one. His accessories are a flare gun from another knockoff G.I. Joe set that he can't hold, by the way, and a pink Barbie radio. Seriously, you can buy these. They're always on eBay in lots. This is just like a Barbie knockoff transistor radio. So his phaser is a flare gun he can't hold, and he's holding a pink transistor radio. There are actually variations of Mr. Rocks, meaning that there was a couple of production runs. I've had two different kinds, one with kind of like a thicker sweater, and this one, the one I kept. I'm not made of money. I can't keep multiple variations of Mr. Rock. One is just fine. Speaking of money, he goes for a heck of a lot on the card. In fact, I've resolved that I will never have a carded Mr. Rock, unless, of course, good fortune smiles on me and I find a $250 buy it now. I'm an amateur artist, and I'm obsessed with toy packaging, so what I tried to do was create a Mr. Rock illustration that would fit in with the Lincoln Monsters solid boxes, which are my favorite collectibles from Lincoln. And I think I achieved it. I would actually like to take another crack at this, but I'm pretty proud of this. This is about a 6-year-old piece from me. But I've grown a bit since then, so I will probably try to take another crack at Mr. Rock in the next couple of years, just for fun. Even though he was sold in the United States, unlike the Lincoln Monsters, Mr. Rock never appeared in any wish books that we've ever found. I've always been curious if Lincoln got smacked with a cease and desist for this guy. He is very rare and hard to find, so it kind of suggests that he maybe had a limited life out there. With his popularity crossing over not only to toy collectors but to Star Trek collectors, he just commands big prices. In fact, there's no Mego Mr. Spock item worth as much as a Mr. Rock. The last carded one I remember sold for about $5,000, I think, and that was 12 years ago. Loose ones come up a little bit more frequently, but be prepared to pay. They are not cheap, and there's a lot of people looking for them. Is Mr. Rock on your want list? Did you have Mr. Rock as a kid? Were you disappointed? I'd love to know either in the feedback on the comments here or hit me up via Twitter at Plaid Stallions. And of course, we have our own Facebook group for discussing minutia like this. It is called Pod Stallions, and we would be happy to have you. Thanks again for watching, liking, subscribing, and interacting with me. I really enjoy talking toys, and I hope it shows. I'll be back next week with another installment of Toy Ventures. Take care.